Happy Monday on a nice 6-1 run to start the second half. Let's talk some more baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we are back with a full week of baseball this time. I am ready to get back to the grind. As you guys know, 6-1 run over the weekend. That now makes 12 of the last 13 profitable days. Gotta love that, but we got a long ways to go. So we got a big 14-game slate on Monday, so let's get right into it. And that means it's time for the baseball fun fact. So here we go. Did you know that the most no-hitters thrown by someone is 7, the most one-hitters is 12, the most two-hitters is 18, and the most three-hitters someone has thrown is 31? All of those records belong to Nolan freaking Ryan. I mean, sometimes you can't trust a guy with two first names, but in his case, you can. He was freaking amazing. Anyways, that's a fun fact. In this video, we're going to recap the weekend, and then we're going to go over those good and bad hitter matchups for Monday, the good pitcher strikeout matchups, and then, of course, we got that pitcher report and the big game breakdown, followed by the best bets, hitter parlay ideas, and the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below like you guys do every day. Every single time you do that, it helps the algorithm, helps this channel grow. We're almost to 2 years on the channel as we are trying to get to 27,000 subscribers. Can't thank you guys enough, but let's get into it. And it starts with the recap. There it is, a nice 6-1 weekend. We did not have any bets on Sunday. I was busy. So anyways, we just did Friday and Saturday. Didn't want to force anything, but 3-1 on Friday. Ellie and Yordan Alvarez came through. Steele and Flexen came through, and Freddie Freeman was an absolute classic cash. I mean, we're talking grand salami in the 8th inning to win it for the team, for him and his team, but also to cash our bet, which is obviously more important. And then the only loss was the Mets money line. They came out and just threw up a stinker. Manaea was awful. The bats took a while to get going. The Mets bullpen sucked. Either way, they lost to the Miami Marlins. So Saturday, we then decided to go all one-unit plays because all Friday was half units. I wanted to ease it in, and I said, you know what? I feel good about Saturday. Let's go 1 unit on each one again. And boom, 3-0. Dylan Cease over 17.5 outs. Got it done pretty easily. I think he pitched 7 innings, actually. Framber Valdez, this was a sweat. He got 17 outs. And the only reason that sucks because I know some people didn't get it until it was 17.5 outs and took the over, and so they lost on the hook. But that was a bummer. But we got that win. And then Brent Rooker, who is just unbelievable right now. And then Shohei Ohtani, 1+ hit each, gets the job done. So a nice 6-1 weekend, winning all those 1-unit bets on Saturday as we work our way. Guys, we went 0-11 at one point this year. We were close to down 20 units. We are now down 4.63. And if you look at this, you would think, why do I ever make a bet on a game? That's not a player prop. We are down 21 units on game bets and up almost 15 on player props. I mean, all I can think of is that we are due for some positive regression on that, we would hope. But anyways, that's the breakdown. That's the bets recap. Now, let's get into the good and bad hitter matchups. All right, I got 13 of these for you today, and you're going to see some Dodger players and a ton of St. Louis Cardinal players. But it starts with Will Smith up there, 7 for 21 versus the lefty Blake Snell, and Freddie Freeman, 6 for 20. Not bad, hitting 300 against Snell. But you can see all the Cardinals players. They got a lot of history with Mitch Keller. Contreras, 6 for 17. Lars Fig Newton Nootbaar, 5 for 12. And then Mason Wynn, even him, a young guy, 4 for 9 against him, so on and so on. Then you got Siani over there, 3 for 7. But those are all the rest of the guys. There's not a ton today for a 14-game slate. Obviously, you got Jose Ramirez over there as well for the Guardians. But take a screenshot. Hopefully that helps you get some winners. And now let's go check out the bat hitter matchups. And we only have 4 for you. And actually, 2 of them, again, are St. Louis Cardinals. How about Nolan Arenado, 4 for 22 with 4 strikeouts versus Mitch Keller? That's insane. Then Dylan Carlson, his teammate, 1 for 11 against Keller. And then the Candyman, 5 for 28 with 9 Ks against Reynaldo Lopez. And then, of course, we finish it with the home run derby champ, Teoscar Hernandez, 1 for 11 with 7 strikeouts versus Blake Snell. So those are the good and bad hitter matchups for the day. And now let's talk some arms. All right, the first one here is Mr. Hunter Green against the Atlanta Braves. Braves' third highest K percentage versus righties last 3 weeks, 25.6%. Green, 126 Ks in 110.1 innings. We've talked about him before, but similar home-away K splits. He did end the first half with a nice game with 10 strikeouts versus the Rockies, and he has 6 or more Ks in 5 of his last 7 starts. Second one, Uber driver Bailey Obear versus the Phillies. Phillies, surprisingly, 7th highest K percentage versus righties last 3 weeks, 25.1%. And Uber has 106 Ks in 100 innings. He does have a higher K rate at home, which is where he is, 28.5% compared to 25.2 on the road. And it's going to be 12 days since his last start. I don't know how you want to take that. I'm just here to let you know. But he does have 8+ Ks now in 4 of his last 5 starts, really missing some bats this year. So those are the first 2. Let's check out the third and final one. Spaghetti and meatballs at the Oakland Athletics. Oakland, 7th highest K percentage versus righties. Last 3 weeks at 25.1%. And then Spaghetti, you'll see it right there, 93 Ks in 80 innings. He's been surprisingly good, to be honest with you. He had 7 Ks versus Oakland earlier this year. His road K rate is a bit lower, just so you guys know. He's on the road here, 23.9% compared to 27.3% at home. He is averaging 7 Ks per game in his last 4 starts against those 4 opponents. So those are the 3 best pitcher strikeout matchups that I have for you today. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 7 matchups we have for you today with Carlos Rodon taking on the Rays. The Rays just put a beat down on him earlier this year, or 2 starts ago, actually, going up against Zach Littell, who's struggled this year as well. Almost a 5 expected ERA. We don't have a ton of huge strikeout guys other than the few I mentioned just before this. But Tariq Skubal, obviously the AL Cy Young favorite, is one of those. 30.8% K rate, facing a team that does not strike out a lot in the Cleveland Guardians, so that should be an interesting matchup. And then as we go on, Mitch Keller, we already talked about a little bit. Rangers Suarez going to Minnesota. That should be an interesting matchup because Minnesota has just been lights out on offense at home. So, and then Eric Fetty, who is better at home, will be going into Texas and facing Michael Lorenzen. But how about a 2.92 expected ERA out of Mr. Fetty? He has had one heck of a season. But that Cincy Atlanta game, we are going to talk about that in just a little bit. But those are the first 7 matchups I have for you. If you are new, as you can see on the bottom is all the averages to compare to. You got hits per 9, walks, anything you want. Hopefully this helps start your betting day. Now let's take a look at page 2. All right, I've been lying to you this whole time. There are 13 games today, not 14. So these are the final 6 matchups led up there by Tobias Myers going up against Javier Assad of the Cubs. Assad due for some negative regression. My goodness, almost a 5 expected ERA, almost a 10% walk rate, and he's given up some hits. So Yober Diaz for the Arizona Diamondbacks is a rookie. He's got some swing and miss stuff in the minors. It just has not translated yet, but he has only had a couple starts. So going up against a guy who knows how to case him, guys. That's Mr. Cole Reagans, the lefty, with that nice 3.16 ERA. And then Tanner Houck and the Red Sox leaving LA, where they just got swept on Sunday Night Baseball, going into Colorado to face Austin Gomber. And then Spaghetti against Hogan Harris of the Oakland A's. The A's bats have been just scorching hot. I am just amazed by it. They're putting up football numbers for a few games there. And then Bryce Miller for the Mariners, as we see Julio go down with an injury today, running into the wall. He is the only person competent of hitting a baseball. He's going up against the lefty, Tyler Anderson, in a good matchup, obviously, there for the Mariners. Somehow, Tyler Anderson continues to limit runs, even though he is not striking out many guys. He just I just don't get it. He has a 2.97 ERA, is due for some negative regression. And then Blake Snell, we all know he walks guys, but doesn't usually give up a lot of hits. But we'll see how he is. Obviously, he's just coming back from injury. This is like, I think, his 2nd start. But going up against the Dodgers, who did not have a pitcher listed. So that is all 13 matchups for the pitcher report. And now it is time for the big game breakdown. All right, it takes us out to Atlanta, Georgia, where the Braves host the Cincinnati Reds. Braves on the money line, -155. Reds money line, +130, with a total of 8 runs in this game. First, let's talk about the spot. The Reds coming off getting swept in Washington, D.C. That's right, they did not have a good series. Now traveling to Atlanta. Braves staying at home after losing 2 of 3 at home to the St. Louis Cardinals. Advantage here, obviously, Atlanta. They're not going anywhere, but you know, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Starting pitcher matchup, we got Hunter Green and Reynaldo Lopez. Hunter Green has been absolutely solid this season. We've talked about it before. He struck out less guys than he's used to striking out, but he's also limiting runs a lot better, which is the name of the game, to be honest. So he has given up now 2 or less earned runs in 5 of his last 6 games. And the only miss when he gave up more than 2 earned runs was that game he was throwing up on the pitcher's mound, if you guys remember seeing that. So other than the 180 in the All-Star game, he hasn't pitched since July 11th, which, by the way, he got rocked in the All-Star game. It doesn't matter, but just want to let you know. Home away splits on the road, and he's on the road here. He has been dynamite. 2.53 ERA with a 160 average against and 272 slugging. That's right. Hitters are hitting 160 off Hunter Green when he is on the road. Just absolutely incredible. At home, doesn't really matter because he's not home here. Just want to let you know, 3.94 ERA, 228 average against, and a 377 slugging. So big difference there. Similar strikeout and walk numbers, though, home or away, so not a big deal. Righty-lefty splits against righties, giving up a 211 average and 345 slugging. Against lefties, giving up a 189 average and 321 slugging. Not a huge difference, but a decent amount. Been pretty good against lefties. And speaking of that, he has a 31% K rate versus lefties and a 24.1% K rate versus righties. He is mowing the lefties down this year. And when it's lefties on the road, he has a 32.7% K rate. So now let's talk about Mr. Reynaldo Lopez. Been one of the better starting pitchers in the major leagues this year. Really a good, nice find, a nice gem that the Braves have found. Obviously, they've lost Strider, and now Max Fried is going to the IL, and Acuna. I mean, it's just been a rough year for them. But still, and as you just saw in the pitcher report, he does have a 1.88 ERA, but he does have a 3.84 expected ERA. At some point, he is going to have some negative regression. He will not keep this under 2 ERA all year. But, I mean, he's been solid. He's never, ever allowed more than 3 earned runs in a start. That is just incredible. He's only allowed more than 2 earned runs in 2 of his 17 starts this year. And he's only allowed 6 home runs. That's been the name of the game for him, is keeping the ball in the ballpark. 6 home runs in 95.2 innings this year. Now, home and away splits. At home, he has been absolutely dynamite as well. 1.24 ERA. You know, that's just stupid. That's just silly. 1.24 ERA. 7 earned runs in 51 innings, giving up a 201 average and 296 slugging. On the road, obviously, he's just been good all year. 2.62 ERA, 250 average against, 357 slugging. Similar home and away K rate splits. But at home, which is where he is now, he has higher walk rate. How about a 10.8% walk rate compared to 6.6% on the road? Now, lefty-righty splits versus lefties, 231 average, 328 slugging. Righties, 217 average, 323 slugging. Not much difference there. He does have a higher K rate versus righties, though, 27.1% compared to 22.7% versus lefties. He also has this is probably one of the bigger splits here. He has a much higher walk rate to lefties. So I don't know, some of you guys like to hit on some walk props. 12.5 walk rate percentage versus lefties, only 4.1% to righties. So, you know, if you ever are looking to bet him at some point, if you see a lineup full of lefties, maybe that's your chance, but just want to point that out. He has not faced Cincy this year. Now, offenses, the Reds, last 3 weeks, they've been dynamite. 5th best WRC+, 2nd best slugging, 2nd best OPS. I don't think people use the word dynamite anymore. I don't know why I keep using it. Maybe I'm old. Braves, 26th WRC+, 21st slugging, 24th OPS. It's been night and day with these two offenses. Braves have been struggling versus righties most of the year. The Reds last 3 weeks have really been swinging it well. So obviously advantage Reds there. Bullpen. Reds 11th best ERA last 30 days, 3.40. Braves, we all know they are top 3, top 5 bullpen this year. Last 30 days, 2nd best ERA with 2.15 ERA. The Reds are in pretty good shape. They only used Lucas Sims yesterday for 17 pitches because Andrew Abbott went almost 7 full innings. Braves used AJ Minter for 10 pitches, Chavez for 39. I would say Chavez is not available after throwing 39 pitches. And then in the day before that, they had a doubleheader. So take for what it is. It was 2 days ago, but Dylan Lee, Bummer, Jimenez, Iglesias, and Johnson all threw 2 days ago in that doubleheader. And only Lee was the only one to throw more than 17 pitches as he threw 22. So Reds are a bit more rested, but Braves bullpen is in pretty decent shape too. So anyways, that's all the big game breakdown. Now let's go to the best bet. And I know I said my game bets have been struggling this year compared to player props and other ones, but I'm doing a game bet. It's a half unit play for me. Give me the Reds plus a half a run in the first 5 innings at minus 120 on DraftKings. Again, this is a half unit play for me. You guys do whatever you want, obviously. But we talked about most of this already. Hunter Green has been absolutely awesome on the road. Yes, so has Reynaldo Lopez. But Lopez did struggle like we talked about in that last start before the All-Star break. He is due for some negative regression. And in that start, by the way, gave up 11 hits and 3 earned runs to the Padres. Reds have been the better offense here. I'm getting the better offense here with 2 solid pitchers. And the beauty about this bet is if we get, and by the way, I almost went under 4.5 in the first 5. I don't think we see a lot of runs. If we get a 1-1 type game here, it's a cash. All I need is a tie here. And I think the way the Braves are swinging it, you just saw them get shut out for like the first 5 or 6 innings last start or last game. Or maybe that's 2 days ago. I don't know. It's all running together. But either way, the Braves have been struggling versus righties. I don't think they're going to score many runs. And even if they score one, all I need is one for the Reds to tie that up. So I just like the chance here. You could take on the money line in the first five if you want. I didn't want to mess with bullpens because we know the Braves have a pretty good bullpen. So I just wanted to go with this one. So anyways, give me the Reds on the first five plus a half a run at minus 120. Probably play it up to minus 130. But I like the Reds here. They're going to come out hungry. I think they just got swept by the Nats, and I expect them to come out. And again, 1 or 2 runs might get us a cash here in the first 5 innings. So give me the Reds plus a half, first 5, and let's move on to the next best bet. All right, this second one takes us out to Yankee Stadium, where the Yanks host the Tampa Bay Rays. Yanks on the money line minus 175, Rays plus 145 with a total of 8.5 runs. If you've been following us with Rays versus lefties, you probably already know where I'm going. Give me the Rays. Team total over 3.5 at minus 115 on DraftKings. I'm going to go a half unit. Now, I love this bet like it's a 1-unit play, but here's what worries me, and I'm just going to let you guys know. It's a 1:05 p.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. on the West Coast game. Early game, getaway day for the Rays, which means you never know exactly what that lineup's going to look like. Plus, day games can get a little funky. I'm going to play it safe. We've been doing this a lot more lately where I want to play it safe. I'm going to go a half unit, and it's been working. So either way, I hope it hits, but just want to let you know my thought process on that one. So the Rays have absolutely just demolished lefties lately. As you guys know, we bet this before, and it was against Carlos Rodon, and we cashed pretty easily. Mr. Rodon has been struggling lately. Last 6 starts, giving up 2, 4, 3, 8, 7, and 5 runs. He's only made it past 5 innings in 1 of his last 5 starts. He's just absolutely laboring up there. And also, he's given up 20 home runs. 17 of those 20 home runs have been to right-handed hitters. Guess what the Tampa Bay Rays are going to have in their lineup today? It is going to be 9 right-handed hitters. I mean, maybe they throw 8 and they throw a lefty in there, but they just had 9 righties 2 days ago against Nestor Cortez when they absolutely demolished him and scored 9 runs in that game. So I expect there to be a home run or 2 by them. But the Rays offense versus lefties in the last 30 days, how about the number 1 WRC plus with a 181? By the way, 100 is league average. Number 1 slugging, number 1 ISO power. It does not get any better than the Tampa Bay Rays lately versus lefties. They just absolutely crush them. So, again, we're also going to be playing in Yankee Stadium where the weather is going to be great for hitting, and it's also kind of a wiffle ball park. It's a small, easy to hit ballpark. I'm just confused why we're getting such playable odds at 3.5 for them. Maybe it has to do with a day game, but again, as long as they get most of their good hitters in there, I can't imagine them not scoring 4 runs. They might even do it off Rodon himself. If they don't, the Yankees bullpen has struggled this year as well as we talked about in the past. So give me the Rays team total over 3.5 as my second best bet. All right, before we get to this third and final bet, obviously I got to let you know about the app that has helped me with 12 of these last 13 winning days we've had, and that's Outlier. Click the link below, start that free trial. Guys, it's just been absolutely incredible. It's a one-stop shop for all my research help. Allows me to research quicker and also allows me to find stats that I never would have found otherwise. It's just been absolutely incredible. So there's a reason why all of us handicappers use it. So click that link below, go check out Outlier, and go win some bets. So now this third one, it's my final bet for the video, and we are going out to Seattle. That's right, where the Mariners host the Los Angeles Angels. Mariners moneyline minus 170, Angels moneyline plus 142 with a total of 7 runs. That's right, only 7. This is a 1-unit play. Yes, I know, finally. Give me Bryce Miller over 16.5 outs recorded at minus 125 on bet 365. If you don't know, Miller is the starting pitcher for the Mariners, but he has been an absolute stud at home. There's some numbers that are just unbelievable to me. He has a 2.10 ERA, absolutely solid. On the road, he's over 5. He's been a struggle, that's for sure. But here's what's wild to me. When he's at home, a 30.9% K rate. Now, when he's on the road, 13.4. It's almost embarrassing why he can't pitch on the road. Like, it should not be that big of splits, but it is what it is. He is striking out a ton of hitters. He has made 10 starts at home this year. He's gone over this line in 8 of 10 home starts, and also 8 of his last 9 home starts. The other one was his first start of the year. He already faced the Angels earlier this year and went 6 innings in Seattle. If you can't tell, I think he's probably going to go 6 innings. So if you can only get 17.5, I still like it there. Now let's talk some righties against Angels lately that went over. How about Joey Estes, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, good pitchers, Luis Castillo, Max Scherzer. 6 of the last 10 have gone over this line. Decent hit rate. Nothing just huge there. But the guys that missed, I mean, Mitch Spence, Michael Lorenzen, John Gray. I mean, we're not talking great pitchers there. And Bryce Miller at home is a pretty dang good pitcher. Now, Angels versus righties the last 30 days, the fifth worst WRC plus. They have not hit righties. As you guys know, we've talked about it all year. The Angels can hit some lefties, but they do not hit righties very well. They have an average walk rate, which obviously it's all about pitch count and all that. Angels have seen the eighth fewest pitches this season, and they're about average when it comes to first pitch swing percentage and chase rate and things like that. Things you look at for outs recorded, because obviously first pitch swings would be nice. I love those quick, easy ground outs when you have an over outs recorded. Mariners bullpen, they used 3 relievers yesterday, all through about 10 to 13 pitches, so they're in good shape. I just like to look at the bullpen to see, because there are some times where the bullpen is just completely taxed. They've been used a ton. They're going to get a longer leash on the starting pitcher, but I think it's about decent here. Again, we're talking an 80% hit rate. 8 of 10 home games that Bryce Miller has pitched in against a very bad offense versus righties. Give me Bryce Miller over 16.5 outs recorded to get the job done for us. That is my third and final best bet. Any added plays will be in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. Now, don't hate me, but my hitter parlay ideas will be in the pinned comments maybe before I even go to bed. We ran out of time. I was researching bets. I put a lot of time into it, and it's getting late, and I'm just trying to keep my eyes open right now. But the hitter parlay ideas will come. Again, it's not a bet. It's just me giving you guys options and things like that. So be sure to check the pinned comments, and you'll see those as well. So that's what I got for the best bets, the big game breakdown, all the research help. Now let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. The 3 plays so far. It starts with that big game breakdown bet. The Reds plus a half a run in the first 5 innings at minus 120 on DraftKings. That is a half unit. And then the Rays team total over 3.5 runs at minus 115. Again, another half unit play for me. And a big reason is because it's a very early game, and it's a getaway day. I don't know if they're going to sit guys. I haven't seen any lineups or anything like that. So I'm going to play it safe there with a half unit. And then a 1 unit play. Give me Bryce Miller of the Mariners over 16.5 outs recorded at minus 125 on Bet365. So that's what we got today. Let's keep this roll going. See if we can make it 13 of 14 winning days. And let's hope we all have a great week. But thank you guys for listening. Like always, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Leave a comment below, even if it's just like one emoji. That really helps. So I appreciate it. Hope you have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.